begin with the end in mind. So you got to do the beginning, and then you got to think of the end before you can do the beginning. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'll explain. So this comes from two different situations that just happened. So yesterday I sat down with Tom and Carissa and talked with them about their project that they're looking at building out. And the same question comes up a lot when I'm working with people. And so this is a great exercise to do. If you have something that really seems bold and something big that you're looking to do, and you can't really grasp what the next step is, and you may be scared about all the different ins and outs and what's around the corner with these type of things. Not that Tom and Carissa were, but it's very common to have a whole bunch of excitement over something new, but at the same time be kind of lost as to what the next step is. And I always take people the same direction with this, and it was something that was drilled into me when I was younger, even though I didn't appreciate it till many years later from a lot of the mentors that I've had through the years. And the whole idea is you got to forecast yourself. You got to put yourself into the future. And you have to, and my favorite way of saying it, it's a thing called the Dan Sullivan Question. So whatever the situation is, in most cases you could usually say like a year. Dan Sullivan, I think, uses 3 years because it's an off-the-wall number, and it really causes a person to think. But depending on what you're talking about, how big a change you're looking to do, or how big a project you're looking to take on, or what have you, the best thing to do is to say, if we were sitting here a year from now, and I do this on all my podcasts. You can hear on all the interviews that I do on my two other podcasts, offthegridbiz.com and grandspastvip.com. If we were to sit here together 12 months from now, we were looking back over the past year, what would have had to have happened for you to feel happy with your progress, both personally and professionally? That's the simplest way of saying it. Dan Sullivan has a little bit more ins and outs to it, but that's the main concept. Futurecast, what would have had to have happened? And that is where you need to go. What constitutes, and if they already have an idea of a project they're working on, it's even better, because then the real question is the same question I had for Tom Carissa. It's that what would make this a success? What can we pinpoint? What would absolutely make this a success? And it was something they had not thought about. And this is not uncommon. It's not uncommon to not think about it, because you get so wrapped up and excited with the idea of doing something new that it's real common to set aside the fact that where are we going to be in the future, and why are we doing it? What's the point? And there's a point to everything, but sometimes there's more than one point, and especially if you have two people working on the same project, one person's point may not be the other person's point. And if you have multiple people, it's even more so that case. So you have to very much get in line with each other and decide, okay, what constitutes, between all of us involved, what constitutes success versus failure? Not that failure shouldn't be an option. Failure is quite often the only option, but you need to know where you're going so that you'll know what to do when you get there. And so that it's the simplest question, but it's one that gets tossed around. It's tossed aside and not thought about and put off on. But it's the most important thing for you to figure out early on, because one thing you'll find, when you realize a common goal, sometimes the delivery device that you may have fallen in love with already isn't the right delivery device. So you fall in love with the vehicle, but it's not going to get you to the destination. It's like, man, I can't wait to drive this new Tesla. I can't wait to get in it. It's going to be so fun. And man, when I get to Hawaii driving around in that Tesla, well, the Tesla's not going to get you to Hawaii if you're on the mainland, unless you got some way of getting it ferried out there. It's probably not going to make it. You got a good vehicle and you like the vehicle, but if your main goal is to get to Hawaii, you're going to have to take a plane or boat. It's kind of tied in there. So simple idea, passed up quite often. Here's another situation. This was today. I was sitting talking with my friend Beverly, and we're becoming partners on a new project. And we were talking about, I said, but what constitutes success? What is the best case scenario here with your business? What are you actually looking at? Well, I haven't thought about it. Well, it's time we start thinking about it. Okay, because there's no reason to start if we don't know what the end game is. You have to have some idea of what the end game is. What you really have to do is uncover your expectations, because you have them whether you know it or not. You have to uncover them, and maybe your expectations are stupid, but you better uncover that now. Otherwise, you're going to get there. You're not going to reach your expectations. You're going to feel empty on the inside, and you're not going to know why. And it's because you did not meet with your expectations. But what you really should do is challenge your expectations right up front. Find out what those expectations are. Figure out whether it's actually something you want to go through with, whether you want to do what it's going to take to get that thing, or whether you don't. And all these things start solving themselves. All the problems of what do we do next, everything else, it all solves itself when you picture the end in mind first. Simple idea. I'm hoping this is helpful to you, especially if you're starting out and wanting to do a whole lot of this stuff on your own. Another good thing to take along with the ride, if you're starting this on your own for the first time, go check out my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. You go purchase a hardbound copy over at Amazon.com. I don't know what it's going for right now. They're always switching pricing around, but you can probably find a pretty good deal on it. Or you can go just download a copy. If you don't mind reading it on your phone or on your tablet or PC, go download a copy at AmazonProofBook.com. That's all I got for today. You have a good one. Get out there and let the magic happen.